Welcome to TUG, True You Group. I'm Jeannie King. This is a worldwide online spiritual church group without the church building, which is great because you can access us at any time in any part of the world, and you don't have to do it on our time in our building. You can do it on your time. And so we like to ask, is your heart tugging you for a deeper spiritual experience? Because that's what we're here for. And today I want to talk about prosperity and giving with an open hand. Because a lot of times we think about prosperity is getting, and it's fine because we do get and you do need to receive, but you can only give with an open hand, but you cannot receive if you are holding your hand and your fist closed. You see? So it has to be an open hand. It has to be something that you are doing on a regular basis, letting it flow, letting it go. Now, we are coming into the season of giving with the holiday seasons, and I can't see you. You can see me, but in the privacy of wherever you are, I want you to raise your hand if you've ever had these thoughts before. Oh my gosh, we're coming up on Christmas. I'm not ready for this. I don't know what I'm going to do. I've got to do this and I need to do that. And we have all these thoughts. Have you ever had that? Because I have. And all of these thoughts and all of these feelings are rooted in a feeling of obligation. Have to. I have to do this. I have to invite that person. I have to cook this meal. I have to make sure everyone gets what he or she wants. I have to buy a new dress. I have to, whatever it is, travel across the country or whatever it is. And so we have this sense of dread. And when you have a sense of dread in your life, it shuts everything down. It just does. Because we are holding on to these negative thoughts and these fears. And there is not enough room for any good thoughts to come in. So when you think about a prosperity mindset, you have to allow yourself to give and you have to allow yourself to receive. If somebody asks you, can I buy you a cup of coffee? Well, yeah. Many times someone asks if they can help us and we say, oh no, that's fine, I'll do it myself. But how about if you said yes to the next offer that somebody offered you something, a cup of coffee, take you to lunch, help you clean up your yard? I would definitely say yes to that. So anyhow, but just think about that. We are in this process of flowing energy, thoughts, and feelings. And I teach clutter clearing, and I have a clutter clearing webinar online, and I teach it in person. I don't do that much anymore, but sometimes. And people say, well, you've been teaching this for a long time. Why? Because it works. It works. When we clear out the stuff that we are hanging on to and we don't want to let go, we just have to say, it is enough. We have to just let it go because we're holding on to things for 3 reasons. We actually do have 3 reasons for having clutter. And one is procrastination. I'll do it later. I'll get to it later. No, you won't. You won't. The second one is I don't know where to start. It's indecision. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to let go of. I don't know what to hold on to. I just don't know. And the third one is guilt. Someone gave it to me. They loved it. I don't love it. It's stuck in the back of my closet, but I just can't let go of it. Or I paid too much money for that. I paid too much money for it and I don't use it, or I've gained too much weight and I want to hold on to it so that I can fit back in it. And I can tell you, none of that is going to happen until you really get ready to let go. So in order to have a little bit of fun with this, and I've got to tell you, I talked to our friend Cindy Jordan, and she's our musicologist, and I tried to talk her into singing this song that I wrote to a tune that's familiar, and she said, I'll do it for you, but it's your song, so why don't you just do it? So here we go. Okay. So, one of the things that I like to do is take songs and write words to them and make them my own. And this song I wrote words to the tune of Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow. And this is called Let It Go, Let It Go, Let It Go. And here's how it goes. Oh, my closets inside are frightful. Piles of clothes are not delightful. What is this? I just don't know. Let it go, let it go, let it go. You can tell that I've been shopping. All my drawers so full, they're popping. Where to start? I just don't know. I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. When I finally get it right, too many coats to keep me warm. There's no need to hold on so tight, even though I might cry and mourn. Lawn and plants are slowly dying. Every day is more goodbying. Clutter clearing just makes me know. Let it go, let it flow, let it go. When I finally get it right, clutter clearing becomes a new norm. This place is not such a fright. No more shame, no more fear, no more scorn. Well, my spirits are really flying. Every day I keep on trying. As long as I let it go, life will flow, life will flow, life will flow. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Wasn't that fun? Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it flow, let it flow, let it flow. Everything is energy. And, I work a lot with Feng Shui, which is an 8,000-year-old practice. It simply means wind and water, which is flow and energy. And when we are holding on to things in our hearts and in our minds and in our homes and in our offices, we are not letting things go. And it gets clogged up. And we carry a lot of guilt with us. Have you ever had that? You just have a lot of guilt, a lot of shame, a lot of, woulda, coulda, shouldas, because a lot of us do. It was reminding me the other day of this film that was made in 1986 starring Robert De Niro, and he was playing a Portuguese mercenary, and it's called The Mission. And he was down in South America, and he had signed up with these other mercenaries, and they were going into these Indian villages up into the mountains and capturing these Indians and taking their gold and their silver and all of their things, but capturing them as slaves and shipping them over to Spain and to other places. And he was ruthless. And something happened. You'll have to see the movie yourself, but something happens and he has an epiphany. And it's like he wakes up and goes, oh my God, what am I doing? And he goes to the local priest and he confesses his sin, and the priest assures him that his sins are forgiven. But he is not convinced of that. And so what he does is he takes a big net bag and he puts all of his instruments of war in this bag, his maces and his knives and his guns and his swords, and he ties it around his neck and he drags it with him everywhere he goes. Clank, 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 clank. And the priest keeps going, you know what, you don't need to do that. And he was, yes, I do. I've just done so many horrible things, and I want everyone and God to know that I am contrite. So anyhow, as it comes to a point in the story where it's raining, the soldiers are coming after the people in the villages up this one mountain, and it's raining, and he and the priest are climbing up, and he's got this big net bag full of stuff, and he takes a couple of steps and he falls down, and it takes him down, and he crawls back up, and finally the priest reaches in to his robes and he pulls out this big long knife, and you think, oh my God, what's going to happen? And he reaches over and he cuts loose that net bag, and all of the instruments of war clatter, clatter, clatter down the mountain. And he sets him free. And it was only in that act of letting go that he could now focus his whole attention on rescuing and helping these people. Do you see where even if he thought this was an act of contrition, that it was keeping him focused on himself? Think about that. And what are you holding on to that keeps you focused on yourself and not on other people? So it is a metaphor for how we live our lives. And you cannot you cannot fully be who you are unless you are willing to give up all those things that are keeping you stuck. Now, in this time of giving, we're asked to give all the time. We're asked to give to the homeless and to the bell ringers on the street corner, to our churches, to other people who are less fortunate, give gifts to other people. And if you do so with a sense of anger and fear and obligation, it keeps you stuck. And you might say, but I just don't have enough money. Well, okay, if you say so, but you don't have to give money. Go through your closets and pull out old sheets and blankets that you're not using, or clothes and shoes and boots and purses and belts, and go into your pantry and take out dishes and pots and pans. You're not using them. Take them down to the local shelter. There are all kinds of places where people are getting out of abusive situations or out of prison, and they need to start over. And you can help them. And when you give, wait till you see what happens. Wait till you see what happens. Not only is this rush of energy coming into you and this sense of freedom and this sense of love for other people, but all of a sudden you have an open heart and mind, and you can choose things that really make you happy, not these old things that you're not using, you don't like anymore, you don't think are beautiful. I'm serious about that, and I would love to hear from you. You can email us at trueyougroup@gmail.com. Tell us your stories. I would love to hear this. Now, I want to tell you that there is a book that was a timeless book published in 1903 by James Allen, and it's very popular today. It's a tiny little book. It's called As a Man Thinketh, and this poem is just astonishing. He said, "Mind is the master power that molds and makes, and man is mind, and evermore he takes the tool of thought, and shaping what he wills, brings forth 1,000 joys, 1,000 ills. He thinks in secret, and it comes to pass. Environment is but his looking glass." I want you to take a look around with your life. What are you holding on to? What are you afraid to give up? What are you thinking, well, if I give that up, I might need it? And, that is a complete lack mentality. That is saying, I know that I can't get any more. Well, if you say so, you're not using it now. You don't need it. It's cluttering up your life. I mean, even Jesus went into the temple, and he took a whip and he whipped those people who were doing the money changing in the temple, and he cleared it out. So who am I to argue with Jesus? Clear that stuff out. Don't make me come get you. Seriously. So I want you to approach this time of giving. I want you to give generously. If you give to people on the street, or if you give to people in your circle, or if you, give clothing away. I had a beautiful little short dark mink jacket from Neiman Marcus when I was in Dallas, and I never wore it. And so there was a church, a new church that had just started up, and the minister's wife just didn't really have much. And so I gifted that to her. And I mean, it was like, I was happy to get rid of it because I wasn't wearing it. Well, honey, you would have thought I gave her $1 million. She thought that was like the best thing that she had ever had. Well, let me tell you something. I'm the one who felt like $1 million because I was able to give it. I don't even think about this. It just popped into my mind right now. But I didn't just give her my old worn out stuff. I gave her good stuff that I wasn't using. So I invite you to just do a little mental inventory. I want you to think about what you're holding on to. I want you to let it go, let it go, let it go, let it flow, and give of your whole heart. I just want to read this one more time. It's so powerful, this James Allen thing. It's just so powerful, and I want to leave you with this. Mind is the master power that molds and makes, and man is mind, and evermore he takes the tool of thought, and shaping what he wills, brings forth 1,000 joys, 1,000 ills. He thinks in secret, and it comes to pass. Environment is but his looking glass. The psalmist David said this. He said, "Let the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight." In other words, the things that I talk about all the time and the things that I think about in my heart all the time, may this be acceptable and be in alignment with being the holy embodiment of the Holy Spirit of God. And that's what we are. We're the embodiment of that. I love you all. I bless you. I behold the Christ in you. Please share this with your circle of friends, your family, your friends. I have some people who are now gathering on Sunday mornings in front of the computer. They're drinking their coffee and they're having church with Tug. And I know about you. I send you my love, and I am so grateful that we have this time together. So sign up today, trueyougroup.com. Go to our YouTube channel. We do daily 2 minutes that can change your life, little bite-sized messages. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, True You Group Tug. And if you hit the notifications bell, you will be notified every time we upload something. So thanks for being with us, and I'll see you next week.